to Yellowstone National Park where the bison roam freely. He's staring right at my car like it's a threat. Don't be looking at my almost new car, which also happens to be my house. Move along, big boy. There you go. Oh, he's coming back. Looking at me again. I'm not looking for trouble. I'm just looking. Okay. So this is the national park with the famous geyser, Old Faithful. I got my national parks that begin with a Y mixed up, so I was looking up things to see in Yosemite. This is Yellowstone. So apparently Old Faithful isn't the only geyser here. Yellowstone has hundreds of geysers, more than any place else in the world. I wanted to understand why that is, and I had trouble finding a simple explanation, which is why I enjoy history. It's easier for a tiny brain to digest. So I ended up watching a children's video that finally made sense to me. So basically, there are underground sinkholes. Water gets in there from rain and melting snow. And in most places, there's a thick layer of rock between the water and the hot magma. But in Yellowstone, that layer of rock is very thin, so the magma heats up the water. In some cases, the hot water just sits there in a pool, but in the case of geysers, the steam gets trapped, and the pressure causes it to shoot into the air. And those pretty colors are different types of bacteria and algae that thrive in hot water. The earth is percolating. Smells like rotten eggs. That's the sulfuric acid from the bacteria. A lot of Chinese tourists here, coming in by the busload. Candy is giving me the cold shoulder, or rather the cold bum. She always sits and looks in my direction, but she wanted to sit in my lap and stick her head out the driver's side window to look at the bison. When that didn't happen, she threw a temper tantrum, which led to my reprimanding her, which is why I'm getting the cold bum. This is what a spoiled brat looks like. And this is fossil forest. The trees were petrified millions of years ago from volcanic activity. This is Mammoth Hot Springs, and it's unique because it has calcium and mineral deposits from the limestone in this area, so it created these formations. I'm having trouble with the altitude here. I can't take a deep breath. I don't think I'll make it up to see Cleopatra Terrace. I'm feeling pretty lame when I see elderly people and children walking around with no problem. Maybe they're used to this. I've never seen anything like this. This is Hayden Valley. Candy is allowed here. This is the pet unfriendliest national park I've ever been to. I'm guessing it's all the wildlife here. The scent of a canine might upset things. Plus, there are these signs everywhere about not walking on the thermal areas, so it's probably dangerous for dogs. Yellowstone is almost 3 times the size of my home state, Rhode Island, and it's the first national park ever created in the world. This is Grand Prismatic Springs, and it's got rainbow-type colors from the bacteria. Some lady let one of her kids stick his hand in the water. The kid said, "Mommy, the water shocked me." And a guy from India kind of freaked out. "That's sulfuric acid, he's getting burned." And Mom didn't seem to really care. Like she has too many kids and wouldn't mind losing a few along the way. And this is why the park was named Yellowstone. This is called the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. I think it's more striking than the Arizona Grand Canyon. It's so bright it seems more dramatic. We've been stuck in traffic for a long time. We're burning daylight. There haven't been many nice days weather-wise, so I tried to see as much as possible today. But we still haven't seen the star of the show, Old Faithful. And here's why the traffic was stopped. The bison were hanging out all over the road. I think that was last year that a drunken guy got out of his car and taunted the bison because it was blocking the road. That guy was raising hell all over the park in a drunken spree. He said it was his last hurrah before entering rehab. But to his credit, he did apologize to the bison during his arraignment. Will Old Faithful erupt before the sun sets? Running out of daylight. It happens every 90 minutes or so, but I don't know when it last erupted. Here we go. That's so cool that I want to see it in the daylight tomorrow morning. But it's a 2-hour drive out of this park, and there aren't any street lights to see the wildlife on the road. So I think I'm going to stay here. So I spent the night here in the parking lot. That steam right there is Old Faithful. I'd have a really good view of it if not for the trees. I wouldn't be putting this information out there if my videos got a ton of views. I wouldn't want this place overrun with car campers, but I had no problem staying here last night in the parking lot. There's a hotel here, and other reasons cars are here overnight, some tour buses. Another option for car campers would be to reserve a tent camping site and just sleep in your car instead. This was a last-minute decision to sleep here for me, so that wasn't possible. I wanted to see the first eruption of the morning, but I was too tired to move, So I'm going to have a leisurely cup of coffee first. I'm going to sneak candy in her backpack under my hoodie. People that stay in that hotel get to see the geyser from their rooms. Nice. That's the visitor center. Somebody said it's due to erupt in about a half hour. Incognito candy. Oh look, a different geyser is erupting not far from Old Faithful. I guess that's the opening act. Some guy is yelling at his wife because she forgot something important. He's had it with her. Must be a camera that she forgot. What else do you need to take to a geyser? Here we go. It's quite a sight.
Wow.
That should have been on my bucket list. I'll put it on there retroactively.